The freeze feature in Google Sheets allows you to keep specific rows or columns visible at all times while you scroll through your spreadsheet. This is particularly useful for keeping headers or key data in view as you work with large data sets. We have a large data set for a fictional business. The spreadsheet has 8,000 plus rows of product sales transaction data. I will press Ctrl plus Home on the keyboard to return to the beginning of the spreadsheet. Now let's scroll to the right through the columns. This spreadsheet has 21 columns. This is a big spreadsheet compared to the smaller lists we have looked at in our previous lessons. Okay, I will press Ctrl plus Home to return to cell A1. While working with a big spreadsheet like this one, it is a good idea to use the freeze feature. When scrolling down the spreadsheet, do you notice that the top row is no longer visible? It is difficult to know which data we are looking at now. We can freeze the top row to alleviate this issue. To freeze a row, click View on the menu bar. Next, hover the mouse over Freeze. Finally, select one row. The top row is now frozen. When we scroll down the spreadsheet, the top row is always visible, which enables us to see the column names no matter how far we scroll. This makes it so much easier to use the spreadsheet. Okay, let's scroll back to the top. We can also freeze multiple rows if we need to. Once again, click View on the menu bar. Next, hover the mouse over Freeze. This time select 2 rows. Now 2 rows are frozen. You can freeze even more rows if you like. I will press Ctrl plus Home on the keyboard to return to the top of the spreadsheet. Just click a cell in the row you want to freeze. Just like before, click View on the menu bar. Next, hover the mouse over Freeze, then select up to row 4. 4 rows are now frozen. You can also unfreeze the rows. Click View on the menu. Next, hover the mouse over Freeze, then select No Rows. The rows are unfreezed. Okay, let's look at how we can use the freeze feature with columns also. Here we have Order ID 32. It has 4 items in the order. What if we wanted to find out what the product was, or the ship date? These columns are towards the middle and end of the column list. Let's use the freeze column feature to make it easier for us to navigate the sheet. Let's click in a cell in the order date column, which is column C. Once again, click View on the menu. Next, hover the mouse over Freeze, then select up to column C. This freezes the columns up to C. Now, when we scroll towards the product and ship date fields, we can still see the order ID and order date columns at the beginning of the sheet, which makes it much easier to work with. Finally, you can freeze rows and columns at the same time. Let's go to View, then freeze the top row. Now, whether we scroll down or right, the top row and first few columns will always be visible. In this lesson, you learned how to freeze rows and columns to make it easier to see and navigate your spreadsheet.